Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, Southwest Airlines delays deliveries of Boeing 737 MAX airplanes. B29-Doc is okay to fly at the McConnell Air Force Base. Another disgruntled airline passenger catches it on video. Hello, I'm Christopher C. Odom. It's June 29th, 2016, and this is Airborne Unlimited. To survive in the airline business is sometimes necessary to be flexible, and according to a report in the Seattle Times, such is the case with Southwest Airlines. Southwest revealed to its investors that they have delayed a delivery of 67 Boeing 737 MAX airplanes, while they plan to accelerate the delivery of 6 737-800s to 2017 rather than 2018. Delivery of the 737 MAX airplanes may be delayed by as long as 6 years, according to the report. That would push about $1.9 billion of Boeing's bottom line into the 2020s. The move does not change Southwest's status as a launch customer for the re-engineered single-aisle workhorse airplane. It will become the first carrier to fly a 737 MAX next year. The changes do allow Southwest to better control capital spending, and it invest in technology updates over the next 5 years, according to the report. It won't be long before the World War II Boeing B29 named Doc will join the CAF B29 Fifi to become the second Stratofortress still flying. The U.S. Department of Defense has granted approval for Doc to use the non-joint use runway at McConnell Air Force Base in Wichita for final ground testing and flight operations. The authorization means Doc's flight crew will begin conversations with base leaders to schedule high-speed taxi testing and eventually takeoffs and landings. Jim Murphy, Doc's Friends Restoration Program Manager, said, "The approval from the Pentagon is another important milestone along our path to first flight. With the airworthiness certificate from the FAA we received a few weeks ago, and now permission from the Pentagon to use the runway at McConnell, first flight for Doc is imminent." Murphy added, "Our restoration volunteers have worked 16 years to get this far, and we're a few final steps away completing the first stage of Doc's mission to honor those who built, flew, and maintained the B-29 warbird." After the break, an American Airlines baggage drop goes viral.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Welcome back. If you have a story suggestion for Airborne Unlimited, Aero-TV, our website, or podcast, just email to news-spy@aero-news.net. Here we go again with another report of someone getting less than lousy service from an airline. Better yet, the disgruntled customer is a professional photographer who video recorded the event. A photographer who was on his way to shoot a wedding in Detroit had to borrow a camera to finish the job after baggage handlers at American Airlines dropped his Pelican case containing some $20,000 worth of equipment. According to the website Pay to Pixel, photographer Josef Scheidler was forced to gate check the case full of gear, but as it was being loaded, the case fell off the loading ramp and dropped onto the tarmac. It burst open, spilling lenses and camera bodies everywhere. Several were badly damaged. The photographer both videoed and captured audio files of the way he was handled upon reporting the situation. It's reported he filed the appropriate papers, but the airline later claimed they had no record of what occurred, and so the request for recompense continues. Meanwhile, the video has gone viral on the internet. Perhaps that will help the airline remember what happened. With some 2,000 Aero-TV programs webcast to cyberspace, sometimes it can be fun to look back and enjoy some of the places we've seen, the flyers we've met, and the planes we've flown. Here's a look at one of our favorite Aero-TV classic episodes.
For this kind of airplane, electric power has been under development now for quite a while. And the cool thing about it today is that it's kind of ready for prime time. It's no longer a science project.
The concept of electric-powered manned flight has gone far beyond the experimental stage, and in this video, you'll see a company that is on the move to providing electric flight to recreational aviators. After these messages, Israel steps up in aviation weaponry.
Redbird Flight Simulations is dedicated to revolutionizing flight training by designing, manufacturing, and delivering affordable and innovative flight training technologies. Each Redbird device is designed to enhance the training experience for pilots of all levels, from student to ATP. Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
The aviation industry is full of news, and we're summarizing some of those other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. Israel and U.S. government leaders joined Lockheed Martin recently to celebrate the rollout of the first Israeli Air Force F-35A Lightning II. Israel's F-35, called the Adir, will be a significant addition to maintaining Israel's military edge in the Middle East region. Here's some great news for the airshow business. After a one-year hiatus, the Waukegan Airshow has been rebranded and will now return as the Northern Illinois Airshow. The show will be featured on September 10th at the Waukegan Regional Airport. The New Jersey state legislators' proposal to raise aviation fuel taxes to fund infrastructure projects is opposed by the organization Airlines for America. They say aviation is not a piggy bank for the legislator to use to solve their highway infrastructure problems. The Federación Aeronáutica Internacional is asking young artists to enter a contest to create a picture that illustrates this year's theme, which is Beyond the Clouds. The FAI says each new generation of pilots and designers brings their vision of flight to the world. The two suspects accused of operating an unregistered airplane that was seized 2 years ago in Cody, Wyoming, have been sentenced to 3 years supervised probation in the case. Because of other circumstances, the aircraft was also forfeited to the U.S. government. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now let's get back to the rest of the news. The Goldwater Institute has asked the United States Supreme Court to hear its case against the FAA for shutting down Flytenow Incorporated, a startup business that uses the internet to connect private pilots with passengers wishing to share flight expenses. However, the FAA determined that the process of posting a planned trip on the website constituted advertising that subjects the pilots to the same regulations that pilots for a common carrier like Delta Airlines would have to meet. This forced Flytenow to shut down. The Goldwater Institute is arguing that the FAA's decision violates the First Amendment rights of Flytenow and its pilot members. The Institute is also asking the court to decide that no deference is due when a government agency interprets a term, which is in this case common carrier, that is predominantly defined in the common law. Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at Aero-News.net. Airborne Unlimited stream daily Monday through Friday with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us and a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry organizations and associations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news. From the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource, I believe I can fly.